Hello and welcome to the fourth edition of the RMI podcast in association with Gondolier, brought to you by Tyre Equipment Parts Association, Motor Industry Workshop Association and the Automotive Remanufacturers Association. I'm very pleased to welcome Christie and Dillon from Gondolier, who are going to talk to us about the Skillz for Profit program as part of the Project Delta initiative. Welcome Christie, welcome Dillon.
Thank you, Headley. We're excited to be back and just elaborate on the tools that I've mentioned a workshop and businesses should evaluate and implement within their businesses in order to achieve ultimate efficiency. Now, we've elaborated on the quality and the selection of tools. What we've come to realize is that you can put someone in a Ferrari, but it doesn't make them a Formula One driver. Skillz makes it most important in order to utilize this quality and selection of tools that you invest within your business.
And up until now, we've spoken primarily about John's Way tools, which is obviously part of the Gondolier range. I'm assuming that the Skillz for Profit, in terms of Project Delta, covers the entire range of Gondolier products as well.
Yes, definitely. So, like we've mentioned before, we've been very prominent in the training centers like McCarthy, Imperial, Patco, TTI Global, prominent in all the trades within the automotive industry. And what we've come to realize is that we've provided the right quality and the right selection of tools, and the businesses might be investing in the right quality and selection of tools, but are not utilizing this equipment with the upskilling of staff and with the right skill. So we've actually been prominent with training for years. We ensure that when equipment is being provided or the right selection of tools is being invested in, that they need to be trained on this equipment, and that's why we came to a conclusion and an initiative for the automotive industry called Skillz for Profit. And this is where we provide training in order to utilize this equipment to the fullest of their potential. Skillz for Profit came around in our body shop side, but is applicable to all the industries, and we've really got the whole industry together to understand the meaning behind upskilling staff, which is so important, because we don't want white elephants within workshops where it's being done as a grudge purchase for high quality tools but not being used to its fullest potential. So I've got Dillon here today to just explain a little bit more about where Skillz for Profit originated, but it's actually been prominent within the industry for many years. We just haven't ever put a name to it, and that's exactly what it explains. It's skills in order to achieve the ultimate profitability within a business.
So it's the return on investment that cuts across. When we refer to industry, obviously we're involved in the motor industry, and there are many facets of the motor industry, from panel shops to tyre shops to workshops to dealerships, etc. And I assume that the whole range, the Gondolier range, covers all different disciplines within our motor industry, and the Skillz for Profit will bleed across to all of them as we progress with Project Delta initiative.
Yes, definitely. It's applicable to all the industries, and Skillz for Profit has been prominent with all the training academies that we've started working with on the automotive technician side and the petrol and diesel and more the tire fitment side. We've been working with Imperial, BMW, Patco, McCarthy's, all those prominent training academies in order to provide training programs and the resources for these businesses to make use of to upskill their staff using the right equipment and the right selection of tools. And I've got Dillon here today. He's the car body technology representative of Gondolier and a very skilled professional panel beater that's going to explain more behind our strategy of Skillz for Profit that came about within the body shops. And this is basic proof that skill is extremely important within a business with the right quality of tools.
Oh, that's great. Dillon, let's hear from you about your side of the Skillz for Profit.
Thank you. So in 2017, we embarked on a journey to go out into the market to promote our car body repair system called Carbon, but at the same time, by doing so in various provinces across South Africa, we were met with various objections, always. The first being that panel shops, or body shops should I say, every few years auto body repairers are required to invest in certain equipment and tools, and because in most instances the training is not provided, equipment then becomes white elephants and body shops do not realize their return in investment, and 70% of the time those tools then become white elephants. That was the first objective. Secondly, it was a skill problem where workers were not skilled enough to use the equipment provided. And lastly, we also found out that there was a massive communication gap or bridge between panel beaters and insurance companies, whereas the panel beater would invest in tools and equipment, but at the same time the panel beater would then think that the insurance companies would not give them or not agree to certain terms and conditions regarding repairs, making it extremely difficult for us to move forward within the industry. That's when we realized that we need to somehow bridge the gap of communication between panel beaters and insurance companies so that we could all be on a level playing field and we could all understand what is happening in the industry, so that we could then move forward to make this profitable not only for the insurance companies but more so for the panel beaters themselves in investing in the right equipment with the right skill going forward.
When you refer to the panel shops and so on, I'd like to understand how this translates to the consumer at the end of the day, how the consumer benefits from the Skillz for Profit as well. Because, you know, without a consumer benefiting from the Skillz for Profit program, the business owner is less likely to invest in it. So if we just explore briefly the panel shop issue around how your product works, without going into too much detail, just quickly how we envisage that from a consumer perspective.
So a lot of the times a vehicle would come in and it would have a tailgate damage or a rear fender damage, for instance, and the panel shop would then have to go and place an order for parts, which in most instances the panels will always be on back order, meaning that there's a waiting period in order for the vehicle to be repaired. And that's where we come in. Instead of replacing the panels with new parts, we then come in and provide an efficient system in order for them to repair the vehicle within OEM standards to get the vehicle out to the client faster, in terms of turnaround time as well.
So the consumer benefits from a turnaround time in terms of the repair to the vehicle, and the quality of the work is acceptable to both the insurer, the insurance assessor, panel shop owner, and I assume then that the customer is also satisfied with that work, especially from the perspective of the turnaround time.
Most definitely, not only turnaround time, also in terms of knowing that your vehicle is still kept in an original condition. Parts would have to be ordered, vehicles would have to be cut and joined, which a lot of consumers are not aware of, and in doing so it always alters the structure of that vehicle if it is done incorrectly. So with a new technology such as what we offer in our Carbon range, it allows you to repair those repairable panels 100% of the time, ensuring that your vehicle stays safe first of all, and that a lot of the panels are not then removed, as I said before.
Okay, so that's great, and we obviously understand the context in the panel shop and the repair of bodywork and so on. How does this move into the tyre shop, the workshop with other equipment? You know, if we look at the John's Way range, it covers a broad range of products. I think Johnny mentioned last week there's 6,000 line items in the John's Way range in South Africa. So in terms of the Skillz for Profit, if we consider just briefly, and I don't want to go into the technical detail of a torque wrench, but how does that affect the consumer in the marketplace as well in terms of the upskilling of people?
With the correct tool for the correct job, we always find that in workshop instances, technicians tend to just use a spanner or use a ratchet to tighten bolts which need to be torqued. We provide the correct tools for the job, and we also provide the training within the shop in order for the technician to understand why he's using the tool and what the implications of not using the tool correctly will then have going forward, not only the workshop but also for the consumer at the end of the day. If the correct torque is not used, that means bolts are either under tightened or over tightened, which can then result in major implications for both the workshop and the consumer.
The theme carrying through on all our discussions that we've had has been the issue of quality, and if we look at the tools in particular, we've referred to them as having built-in quality and the lifetime warranty being of less importance. So the quality of the product actually supersedes the need for a lifetime warranty. Obviously that refers directly to correct use of the tools as well. So the Skillz for Profit as part of Project Delta is ensuring that those products, those tools spanners, screwdrivers, torque wrenches, carbon products are all used correctly to the benefit of the consumer, and the tools will naturally last longer and perform better. So I think in essence it's becoming a holistic approach to the project in terms of providing the right equipment, providing the right skill to use the equipment.
Along with the upskilling of workers, we also skill them in the maintenance of equipment and machinery.
Dillon, you mentioned that the training includes maintenance of equipment and products and tools as well. So that's part of the holistic approach of Gondolier through the Project Delta initiative. That's obviously got lots of benefits to the consumer and to the business owner.
Yes, that will then ensure the return of investment, not only for the consumer but also for the panel shop owner.
And this is exactly why we came up with the initiative Skillz for Profit and got the whole industry involved. We've had numerous webinars, seminars and training programs with insurance companies such as Santam, AIG, Outsurance, Old Mutual, King Price and all these other prominent insurance companies within the industry in order to start the training programs and make sure that we get the suggestions and the knowledge around everyone that is prominent within the industry. We've been working with the body shops and the insurance companies and workshop and tire fitment dealerships in order to bring together training programs that these workshops and body shops can use.
So the insurance companies are supporting you with the project and the product development. That's great to know, and so the consumer benefits, the business owner benefits, and all around the development in our industry is improving as we go forth with Project Delta initiative and the Skillz for Profit portion of that. Skills development is an extremely important part of the RMI's focus into the industry, not only at the moment but going forward as well.
Yes, and we're busy with our first module at the moment, Skillz for Profit being the collision repair equipment for the body shops. There's a lot more coming under the initiative Skillz for Profit training programs that will expand in many different market sectors. And this is definitely going to be a huge excitement to the industry to have resources that they can make use of in order to upskill their staff and bring profitability to their business. And as well, like Dillon mentioned, bringing an advantage to the consumer so that we take convenience and the possibilities to their doorstep in order to
create a better service all round and customer experience. I think going forward, a happy customer will then also ensure that insurances have less issues or hassles to deal with, and the body shop in return will be more profitable because of their CSI scores as well. As profitability and efficiency increases, CSI also increases, which means more work.
We look forward to participating with you in the Project Delta initiative and in skills development as it develops and progresses through the industry. We're obviously keeping our eye on the general workshops, the tyre dealers and the other aspects of our industry where we need to develop skills. We'd like to thank you very much for joining us on this podcast, and we look forward to welcoming you at the next one, where I think we will be talking in a bit more depth on the technical aspects of tools and equipment.
Thank you, Hedley. We're very excited to come back next week.